Hey everyone, it's Cathy Meehan here with the Meehan Mission podcast. And today I am so excited that we get to interview Dr. Brian Hooker. So, Dr. Brian Hooker, for those of you who don't know, he is the Chief Scientific Officer for the Children's Health Defense Fund. He holds over 5 patents. He is the author of over 70 peer-reviewed scientific publications, including over 20 papers that are covering the epidemiology of vaccine injury. He is also the co-author with Robert F. Kennedy Jr. of Vax-Unvax, Let the Science Speak. We'll have the link for this book down in the bio. So just recently, several of us from the office got the opportunity to go to a conference called MAPS, which is the Medical Academy for Pediatric Special Needs. And while we were there, we ran into Brian, and I just want to say he is not only a brilliant man, but his heart is so big, and it was just a great pleasure to get to see him again. So for those of you who aren't really familiar with Brian yet, he actually was instrumental in the creation of Vaxxed, from cover up to catastrophe, which was the exposure of all of the data that linked the MMR vaccine to autism and the CDC whistleblower, Dr. William Thompson. So that was back in around 2016 when that was first released. But I really wanted to talk to Brian about the upcoming Vaxxed III and what does he know about that, and can he give us any inside scoop? So please sit back, enjoy the interview, and enjoy the show. Thanks. Hello, everyone. It's Cathy Meehan, and welcome to the Meehan Mission podcast. And like I said, here is our fabulous guest, Dr. Brian Hooker. And Brian, I am so appreciative that you took the time out to speak with us today. It was great seeing you this past week at the MAPS conference. And I just wanted to introduce you to our audience because not everybody knows, kind of like the history of Vaxxed, which is so important. And we actually are going to host Vaxxed III next week at a local theater here in Tulsa. And we will also provide a link where people can find a location near them.
Right.
So really, Brian, just kind of to introduce you to the audience, if you could tell us just a little bit about your background and maybe how you woke up to the corruption within, some of the 3-letter agencies, and just how can you help us?
Well, thank you so much, Cathy. It's so great to see you again. We have to see each other this often all the time. So,
Absolutely.
But my background is I have a PhD in biochemical engineering that I got way back in 1990, and was sort of minding my own business, thinking that the medical profession and vaccines were just super great. Until my son sustained a vaccine injury when he was 15 months old in 1999, and he was severely affected. To this day, has severe neurological issues, mostly neuromotor issues, diagnosed with autism. And that really woke me up. I mean, there was no doubt in our minds what happened that day. It was when he received 3 vaccines while having an active ear infection at the recommendation of his nurse practitioner, who at the time said, oh, well, yeah, we vaccinate sick kids all the time. It's not that big of a deal. Well, it was a big deal, and it was wrong. Yeah. And then that started my quest to understand more about vaccine injury, more about, what happened to my son, how to heal my son, and really an investigation into these 3-letter agencies, including specifically the CDC, and all the fraud and malfeasance, as they would deny the claims that vaccines cause autism, that my son's autism was caused by the cataclysmic shots that he received that fateful day, and then myriad other issues regarding the vaccination program and the now very, very bloated childhood vaccination schedule, including the COVID-19 vaccine.
Yeah. Oh, first of all, I am so sorry to hear that you had to experience that. And, one of the things that we learn in life and that I try to help other people understand is when bad things happen, there is still good that comes out of it. And that's really one of the most difficult things. It's like, even with the death of Jimmy, which I still, every night when I go to bed, I'm like, why, why? But I have
Right.
to understand that good does come out of that. And so whether it's, you find that purpose and that purpose for us, for me, is to continue the Meehan mission to expose the medical corruption, which I'm sure for you, the purpose is for you to find answers and to help educate other people and what you have done, and which leads into the whole Vaxxed documentary. That's
Right.
really, if you can, talk about that, and then leading up to Vaxxed 3, and why is Vaxxed 3 also so important?
Right. Well,
Mm-hmm.
one of the scientists that I began interacting with shortly after my son's vaccine injury was one Dr. William Thompson, who later became a whistleblower. It took actually many, many years
Yeah.
for him to contact me again. But in 2013, he contacted me and he had much to confess about fraud that the CDC had perpetrated regarding the connection
Yeah.
between vaccines and autism. And specifically, he led me to, the CDC's never really studied vaccines and autism except for the MMR and then the mercury containing preservative that used to be in a lot of vaccines, is still in the flu shot, the
Yeah.
marisol, and that's all they looked at. So Dr. Thompson, revealed the fraud that in these two types of studies, these two components, that the CDC perpetrated, and showed that yes, even CDC scientists had revealed a strong relationship between vaccines and autism. And the real stunning one that he and I majored on when he went public in August 2014 was the relationship between the timing of the MMR vaccine and autism in Black boys. That there was a huge correlation. If they got it on time, they were 380% more likely to get an autism diagnosis than if they would have just merely waited until after 3 years of age. And so we went forward with that. And that was really the basis for the first Vax movie that came out, Vax from Cover Up to Catastrophe, that came out then in 2016. And I'm so thankful for that movie.
Yeah.
It got the word out. It really started the ball rolling. Then of course, Polly Tommy then went out on the Vax tour and was recording all these stories of vaccine injury. Specifically for autism, for injuries associated with the HPV vaccine,
Yeah.
for injuries and deaths, especially SIDS deaths, and then, contrasting the health between vaccinated and unvaccinated children, which became the basis for the second movie, Vax 2, that came out, The People's Truth, that came out in 2019. And now here we are with COVID, and Polly went out with another bus in 2022 and 2023 and recorded the COVID stories, and that's really, Authorized to Kill. That's the subtitle for Vax 3, and that's really what they found on the road, and that's really the basis for this new movie coming out.
Yeah, it's going to be so enlightening, and I'm just hoping that everyone can check out the link and find the premiere at a city near you and go to the premiere, invite your friends to the premiere, and just really help get the word out, because we know that the vaccines can be harmful. And really what we want to do is, you know, we want to encourage people to understand the truth and know that they're not crazy for thinking that maybe it was the vaccine, because most likely it probably was. So, yeah, I appreciate that insight. So, if people will go see Vaxxed 3 on that. And then also, Dr. Hooker, I always like to ask people what their superpower is. So I'll give you an example. So my husband's superpower was he loved to read medical literature and, find out all the bias, like, was it funded by a pharmaceutical company and how did they design the study? He liked to do that. My superpower is I like to be the peacemaker. I like to make sure that everybody knows what's going on and we help one another and that thing. So what's your superpower, Dr. Hooker?
My superpower is with kids.
Yeah.
I absolutely adore, crazy about kids. If you could be like the professional church nursery worker, that's what I would be. Because I did, I loved, especially when my son was young and he was in the church nursery, loved that duty. Absolutely love kids. Love everything about being a dad. Oh my
Mm.
absolute goodness. Even when you're, navigating the world of special needs, being a husband and father, it's the show. It is the
Yeah.
absolute show. So my superpower is really just, being with and appreciating so much children.
Oh, I absolutely love it. And I hope everybody enjoyed getting to know Dr. Hooker because, like I said in the beginning, he's got the biggest heart and he is brilliant. So your brains match your heart. And I'm so appreciative of your time. Thank you, Brian. Have a blessed day. And I will see you at another conference soon, I hope.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Kathy.
Thanks, Brian.